In this recording, we're going to introduce methods. So, a method is a collection or group of statements that together perform an operation. I have here a program that has the simplest method I can think of. We've already been seeing the public static void main method as we've been programming. Practically every Java program will have one until we get to classes. In this program, I actually have a second method defined. And so a method is basically two parts. We're going to have what's called the method header, which is this bit right here. And then we're going to have a set of braces forming a block, and then one or more statements inside that block that compose the method body. Let's take a closer look at the method header. So generally speaking, we will have public. Basically, public is what we call an access modifier. Um, Public means that if this Java file is being used with other Java files, the other Java code can make use of this method. And for the moment, we'll stick with public. When we get to classes, we'll look more closely at the other options for public, or other than public. Okay, static simply means this is going to be shared by everyone who's using my method. Simply put, you can think of static like this. If I have a class full of students, every student is going to have their own unique individual name. But there's going to be a property. If there's 20 students in the class, they all share the property or the value. I have 19 other classmates in the room with me. If one of the other students leaves, then for everyone, the value that is shared by the entire class would be reduced by one, meaning they would all say, okay, now we have 18 classmates in the room. Void describes the method's return type. Uh, in a video I'll do in a little bit, we're going to talk about sending a value back from a method. Simply put, if I looked at a student and asked them to add 2 and 2, they would then say back to me 4. The student took some incoming values, performed an operation on them, and then returned or sent back a value. So whatever word I put here will describe the return type. This particular method doesn't send any value back. It just does something. Okay. Ditto for our main method. Later methods will actually send something back. Then I'm going to have the method's name. The name has to follow the normal Java naming rules. Namely, you should start with a letter, use only letters, numbers, and the underscore, but really don't use the underscore. It should be descriptive, and it often follows a camel case naming convention. My method here is going to display a message. So I've named it display message. Then I'll have the parentheses, and we'll get into the parentheses a little bit later on. But basically, that's where we're going to put parameters. The braces for the block could be written with the opening brace immediately after the name of the method, or many people and many IDEs will prefer to line up the braces directly under the method name. Okay, so my method, very simple. Its job is just to print out a message. And so we should look at how methods are executed. We say a couple different things, and I might jump between them. We say methods are called or executed or invoked or run. And I may bounce between any of those terms in this series of videos. All right, so what's going to happen when my program runs is I'll start out by printing hello from the main method, and then I have a method call right here. What's going to happen is Java is basically going to put like a bookmark known as the return point on the method name. We're going to jump down to the method, and we're going to run the statements that are associated with the method body. When I've reached the end of the method, my cursor, if you will, if you imagine a cursor of what statement is going to be run, we'll jump back up to the bookmark and resume uh, later statements in the main method. So in this case, I'd print out back in the main method, and then here I call the method again. And that demonstrates a really important point about methods. Methods enable reusability of code. They simplify your code. They allow you to take a divide and conquer approach where I might do things like collecting input, displaying output up here, but then do my more challenging processing in a different block. So it's helpful to reduce nesting. It is good to enable reusability of code. Um, the text in the PowerPoint will say, hey, you could copy and paste a block of code repeatedly throughout your program. But this is not a good idea because it leads to larger code, harder to manage code, and it leads to a situation where if you have to change the method, the code in one spot and forget to change it in a different spot, your program will behave uh, inconsistently. So let's go ahead and run this method and we'll kind of trace through it. Okay, let me scroll up in my output here. So my program runs. I display hello from the main method. I call display message. And so my cursor will jump down here, do the code from the method body. When I'm done, the cursor will jump back up to the bookmark and then resume running statements immediately afterwards. So that gives me this block of code. And then in this case, I called display message again, leave a bookmark, come down here, run this code, giving us this. When I hit the end of the method, I come back up to the bookmark, the return point, and that was the end of my program. All right, that's good for this video, but there are many to come.